Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
A warehouse downtown gutted by fire. What officials found inside the building and what they say started the blaze.
Plus, icy conditions in the northern part of the country leading to incidents like this. A FedEx truck hanging off a bridge. David has this story in your morning headlines.
1 in 3 Americans is at risk for kidney disease. Coming up, how a testing kit can help save lives.
And a good morning to you. We've almost made it to the end of the week. It's Thursday, January 27th.
That's right. Almost Friday. We're almost there. We have our weather and traffic team standing by, and we're going to see Stephen Cavazos in a little bit more often here at GMSA at 9.
Good news there. All right, Stephen, that's coming up right now outside with live cam. Justin Horn comes in now. It's deceiving out there. It's so beautiful, but it has been a brisk start to our Thursday.
It is chilly, and once again for the third day in a row, clouds are going to be a headache for forecasting the weather today. So far, the sun is out. We do think clouds will build in a little bit more this afternoon. Right now, 47 degrees. As Mark mentioned, it's a little chilly out there. 38 Kerrville, 45 Rock Springs, 50 right now in Carrizo Springs. Here are the next 3 days. So we got mostly cloudy conditions today. Temperatures will struggle to get out of the 50s. We may see some 60s on the map. Tomorrow, some morning showers. We'll see some showers overnight into early tomorrow. And then clearing out, 56 on your Friday. The weekend, though, as we've been saying all along here, looks fantastic. 63 on Saturday, sunny and nice. So let's take a look at the satellite picture. You can see where the clouds are kind of surrounding San Antonio once again. We've got some clearing as you go northeast of town up towards New Braunfels. And so the clouds will be off and on. 49 Hondo, 38 Kerrville, thicker clouds out towards Uvalde and Carrizo Springs. And it actually kept temperatures up this morning. 50 in Carrizo Springs, 51 as we mentioned out in Del Rio. Pollen count, this is what's incredible. Mountain cedar's gone, did not show up today. Molds are just low at 190. I think we're finally seeing the end to mountain cedar season. Forecast, again, 59 with mostly cloudy skies. We will start to add in some light rain chances as we get late into the evening and into the overnight hours. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a bit. But one would assume the morning commute is winding down. I'm not sure that's the case, though. Let's check in with Steven on what's going on over there.
Winding down in some spots and slowing down in others. Thank you so much, Justin. 35 at Watson Lane East. We're taking a look at a situation that did have some slowdowns there for drivers up a little bit north of New Braunfels. You can see that right now not so bad at this hour, but taking you right to the map, that incident was reported there at the I-35 northbound at Kohlenberg Road. Again, not causing issues, but something we were monitoring throughout the morning. Let's take a jump back here into town because we did have some crashes that are still causing some slowdowns for drivers, although they've cleared out off 410 eastbound at Vance Jackson Road. We have a slight slowdown there, and also a crash that cleared off of 410 westbound at Fredericksburg Road. So those slowdowns are slowly improving. One last jump down over here to 37 northbound at Loop 410, where we saw a pretty big slowdown due to a crash. Thankfully, that is cleared out. Pushing out of the map shows that we are in better shape than what we saw just a few moments ago. Just a few stalls and some slowdowns, but they look like they're improving. Of course, we'll continue to keep our eyes on the road, but as always, keep your eyes on the road as well. Mark, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephen. We have a missing persons alert for you this morning. San Antonio Police just notified us they're searching for 16-year-old Natalie Martinez.
Police say she has black hair and brown eyes, weighs about 200 pounds, and is 5'4". She was last seen in the 6000 block of West Commerce last Friday wearing a white shirt and shorts.
You know anything that can help police find Natalie Martinez? Call that number on your screen, 207-7660.
And for now, let's look at today's 9 at 9. President Biden could have his first hand in nominating a replacement for Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer. After spending 3 decades on the high court, Breyer is retiring. An official announcement ceremony is expected today.
A new study shows Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine booster shot still works against the Omicron variant after 6 months. However, researchers did find that antibody protection wanes once that 6-month period is over. The CDC says only about 26% of the U.S. has received their booster shot.
President Joe Biden signed an executive order Wednesday changing the way sexual harassment and assault cases are prosecuted in the U.S. military. The changes come after the brutal murder of Army Specialist Vanessa Guillen at Fort Hood back in 2020. The new law allows sexual harassment cases to be independently investigated instead of falling on military prosecutors.
The man who federal agents say sold a gun to the Texas synagogue hostage taker is in jail. Henry Williams is charged with being a felon in possession of a firearm. He allegedly sold the gun to Malik Faisal Akram for $150. 2 days later, the hostage situation took place. Williams had his first court appearance yesterday afternoon. His pretrial hearing is set for later this month.
6 people are dealing with injuries this morning after an explosion at a chemical plant in Louisiana. The incident happened yesterday afternoon. 5 of those victims were taken to the hospital. 1 was treated on site. Officials with Westlake Chemicals said an empty tank exploded. None of the injuries are life-threatening.
Apple may be trying to cut out a middleman when it comes to letting small businesses take payments. Bloomberg says it's developing a new service that will allow them to take credit card payments directly on an iPhone without the need for a third-party device such as Square.
Realtor.com says the cost of rent is continuing to rise across the U.S. According to the report, prices rose 5 times faster in 2021 than in 2020. The national median rent for a 1-bedroom home in December was $1,600. Experts say the resurgence was partly driven by big city renters moving to smaller rental markets where their money went farther.
Amy Schneider's 40-game win streak on Jeopardy has come to an end. Roan Talsma, librarian from Chicago, was the new Jeopardy champion crowned yesterday. Schneider goes home with more than $1,380,000 in winnings.
Pizza Hut is trying something new by adding what they call their spiciest pizza ever. The pie will be loaded with spicy marinara sauce, 2 types of pepperoni, red jalapenos, and crushed chili peppers. A large will set you back about $13. And that's today's 9 at 9. A local nonprofit says early detection of kidney disease saves lives, and it's making it easier for people to get tested.
The Texas Kidney Foundation giving away thousands of testing kits that can detect early signs of kidney damage. Tiffany Huertas joins us live from the Texas Kidney Foundation's office with more. Good morning.
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie. You can do these tests at home, and that's perfect for people that can't leave their house. Just check it out. Right now on your screen, you can also see a QR code that will take you to the site with more information. And to talk about these kits, we have Tiffany as well, the CEO of the nonprofit. Good morning.
Good morning, Tiffany. Thank you for having us.
Yes, talk to us a little bit about these kits.
Well, this kit was provided to us by Healthy.io, and we met them because we were looking for a way to still be able to take care of people at the beginning of the pandemic. When we were all locked down, there was no way for us to get to our population and identify kidney disease. So Healthy.io is who we found. And this kit is simple pimple. You just open it up, you pee in your little cup, you put your stick in here, your QR code reads it, you put your phone over your QR code, and it gives you the result and sends the results to us.
It's very simple.
Very
Prior to
simple.
this, how were you all testing people?
We were doing it with our point-of-care creatinine statin meter. That's a wonderful company called Nova Biomedical provides these tests to us for free. All of these guys, our goal was to become the nation's leading technology professionals with kidney disease in terms of early detection, and this is the leading technology. Nova Biomedical point-of-care meter. It's just a little finger prick, just like your blood glucometer. That's what this does. And in 30 seconds, we get a staged kidney diagnosis right there.
So this gives you 2 options right now. So talk to us about how kidney disease is impacting here at residents in Bexar County.
Well, 1 in 3 people in our area have some form of kidney disease or at risk for kidney disease, and 1 in 7 have some stage of kidney disease and don't know that they have it. So right now in Bexar County, we spend about $370 million on end-stage renal disease every year. So for us, early detection is the key to stopping this.
And this hits close to home for you, right?
Yes, it does. And here is my reason why. I've lost 9 family members to kidney disease when I started this job, and now at this stage we've lost 12 to chronic kidney disease. The pandemic took 3. This doesn't have to happen to people. Early detection is the key to stopping kidney disease. 80% of kidney disease is manageable and does not have to go into end-stage renal disease. So that's my why. And I hope that people will get tested so that their families don't have to go through what my family went through.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're going to have more with Tiffany, the CEO of the nonprofit, coming up on the noon show. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right. Thank you to both Tiffany's this morning.
Top stories we're following today: a fire we've been following since around 4 this morning.
It broke out just north of downtown at a warehouse on East Locust Avenue near the Pearl.
Flames were knocked down quickly, but the fire did cause damage inside. The building's supposed to be vacant, but officials say it appears several people have been living inside of it. Crews say it was most likely started by someone trying to stay warm, but nobody was inside at the time of the fire.
A man is in the hospital following a rollover crash on the east side.
That's right. This happened around 2:30 this morning. It's on I-35 between Benzingelman and Seguin Road. Police say this is where that man drove himself off the road and into an embankment, caused the vehicle to roll several times, landing on a grassy median.
We are told a passenger who was in that vehicle is doing okay. Officers did detain the driver for suspicion of DWI.
A man with a history of setting fires now in custody after he allegedly lit another one. Police say Luis Reyes is now facing arson charges. A woman says she was coming out of the shower when she saw Reyes using a cigarette lighter to set a roll of toilet paper on fire.
The woman says she then confronted him, and that's when he lit another roll on fire, this time throwing it on her mattress. That's when she began screaming, causing Reyes to run out of the apartment. She was able to put that fire out with tea. Reyes was found and arrested. He is on parole for a different arson charge.
In your other morning headlines, a man accused of killing a constable in the Houston area now back here in the U.S. And just another supply chain delay.
A bald eagle could probably use a little headache relief in finding Tito. David Sears is here to explain all of this.
Kind of like Finding Nemo.
Okay.
This is Tito, a little different animal. I'll get that for you in just a second. But first, you are looking at video of 51-year-old Oscar Rosales. He is stepping off a private jet in Houston wearing a red shirt, jeans, and handcuffs. Rosales is being brought back from hiding in Mexico. He was found at a hotel just across the U.S. border from Del Rio. He's accused of shooting and killing Constable Charles Galloway last week during a routine traffic stop in Houston. Galloway pulled him over. Rosales got out of his car and fired several shots into the front window of Galloway's vehicle. Galloway was hit several times and was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators are calling it an ambush attack. A judge denied bond for Rosales. So far, he will stay in jail. His wife and brother-in-law have also been arrested. They have been accused of tampering with evidence, trying to cover up Rosales' involvement. South Bend, Indiana, more supply chain delays because that is a big rig. That's a trailer of an FedEx truck dangling off the side of a bridge, so deliveries are going to be a little delayed for folks around that part of the country. Good thing the cab didn't get pulled over with the trailer. The driver of a car in front of the truck lost control. The truck driver had to slam on his brakes, and there you go. Traffic was a mess while they cleaned it up. They had to close the highway, and then they had to close the railroad tracks below the bridge because that truck was dangling on them. It took 4 hours to get that trailer back onto the road. A few miles away, another slip and slide. The driver of this van slipping on the road, then sliding off down the hill into the woods. They needed a crane to get that vehicle out of the trees. All the havoc caused by a thin layer of ice.
When you said it didn't look that bad, you're exactly right. And that's why we end up with a lot of these situations that happen in a short period of time. It doesn't look bad to a lot of people, and they keep driving as they normally would. And that's what we don't need. We need people to slow down even more.
The good news, both the van driver and the FedEx truck driver are able to escape their accidents without any major injuries. Now you're looking at a bald eagle sitting in the front yard of a home in Pennsylvania. See him down there? Yeah, it looks a little stunned, doesn't he? Well, apparently the eagle flew right into that window about dinner time. Closer look at the window, you can see that it is completely shattered. A wildlife expert says the windows can be clear and the birds think they can fly right through them, or they can give off a certain reflection like the sky, and then the birds are attracted to that as well. As for the bald eagle, he eventually flew off, but we'll probably feel it in the morning.
The bird is, obviously not feeling great tonight. So we'd like to prevent those collisions when we can.
Yeah, one way to save birds' lives, according to Kathy, ultraviolet barriers on the windows. We can't see them, but they can. All right, here is your feel-good story for the day. That is Tito, a French bulldog, and that is his owner. And you are witnessing a reunion last night. Back on January 15th, the two were on a walk when three armed suspects approached her. They stole the dog. They took her purse that had her house keys and her wallet in it. A few hours later, those suspects went to her house and stole her car. The car recovered pretty quickly, but Alameda County sheriffs really had to work hard to find Tito. Some of the officers even worked on their days off to find the precious pup. They finally found Tito, and deputies have made several arrests in connection to the robbery. And you saw the reunion with Tito and the owner. How sweet. So there you go. There's your Thursday feel good.
Yeah, I'm glad
Tito
they're together again.
found
Back
Tito.
home. And the eagle has landed, just not the way he planned.
You know, that happens a lot here in South Texas with cardinals. Apparently see reflections a lot of times, and they will fly into windows and just keep coming.
Yeah. You have big windows in your house. Every once in a while, you do hear a thump.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, David. Right now, we're at 9:13, about 45 degrees still ahead on GMSA at 9.
If you're planning to vote by mail this election season, there are some big changes being made to the process. If you're not caught up on those changes, your application could be rejected. Erica Hernandez joins us in the next half hour for what you need to know.
But first, thousands of free HEB gift cards still up for grabs. We'll tell you how you can get your hands on one next.
And welcome back. It's 9:17. Let's look at the pandemic in Bexar County. More than 1,300 people are in our hospitals. 207 are in the intensive care unit, and 129 are on ventilators helping them breathe. 10 more people have died from COVID.
Those numbers are why Metro Health wants more people to get vaccinated. As an incentive, they're offering people $100 gift cards to HEB right now. They have about 3,000 of those cards left. You can get one if you visit a city clinic for a second dose of Pfizer or Moderna's vaccines or the one-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Important note, this incentive does not apply to those wanting to get their booster shots. If you need a list of vaccines sites, just scan the QR code on your screen with your smartphone.
Today it's kind of like yesterday, kind of stayed cold throughout the morning.
It did. It's a slow warm up. And we're playing kind of a game of tag with the cloud cover again.
Oh, man, these clouds are...
So are we it or are the clouds it?
Well, right now the sun is out. Okay,
Gotcha.
so but the clouds are supposedly supposed to come back in. At least that's the general idea. We'll see how it plays out today, but I do think it'll be a mostly cloudy afternoon. Let's first start, though, with the drought monitor. We need some rain. You know that. We've been saying it for a while now. This was last week's drought monitor, okay? 86% of the state was in drought, but locally, it's this area down to the south and west that is really in the most dire situation. We've got a severe drought going on. Places like Carrizo Springs, Big Wells, Cotulla to Tilden. Let's fast forward to today. Not much changes other than the drought is now spreading east. So we've got a moderate drought now over our entire area. And then you go severe drought where you see the orange color, and then the red color is extreme drought. So it's just getting worse. We need some of that rain. There is going to be a little bit tonight. I just don't know that's going to add up to much and really help us all that much with the drought situation. And as we zoom out over the state of Texas, a lot of Texas also dealing with drought at this point. It's kind of spreading west to east. Here is a look at our rainfall so far this year. We've only picked up 0.19 of an inch. We're about 1.5 inches below average. And you add that on to what we, the deficit we had when we ended 2021. It's again, just not a good situation. Look at Del Rio, barely any rain at all. And as we look at our rain chances going forward, we do have some chances tonight, about a 30% chance of some light showers, some drizzle. It just doesn't add up to much, less than 1/10 of an inch. So that's not going to do a lot to help us. Now, we do have another chance Sunday night into early Monday. I think this could be a little more fruitful in the sense that we could pick up maybe 1/4 of an inch, maybe up to 1/2 inch of rain, especially if you're east of San Antonio. So hopefully that pans out. As we look outside right now, the sun is out. We talked about those clouds. Not over the airport right now, 47 degrees, northeasterly winds at about 5, and we do have a little bit of a wind chill, 45. There are the clouds, and they're trying to work back into San Antonio, so they'll be moving towards the airport here shortly, and we'll probably go mostly cloudy. But there's a few more breaks behind that. Clouds will probably be off and on today. The thicker clouds will be out west, thinner clouds off to the east. 39 Kerrville, 49 in Hondo, 52 right now in Cotulla. We're at 48 in Gonzales. Here's a look at the forecast as far as the temperatures go. Mid-50s by, say, lunchtime, and then probably upper 50s around 4 o'clock this afternoon. Some 60s on the map, I think, a little bit later today, especially those places that get more sun. Now let's talk rainfall. So there's all the cloud cover that we're dealing with today. And then as we get into tonight, midnight, here come the showers, mostly in the form of light showers, maybe some drizzle Front comes through. This doesn't really cool us down much, but it just drives in some drier air. So by tomorrow morning, the showers are ending, clouds clear out, and by the afternoon, it is sunny, albeit a little bit breezy, but beautiful. Saturday and Sunday look equally as nice. As we look down the line here, storm system that is moving across the country moves up the East Coast. This causes a lot of problems. So places like New York, Boston, they're going to get walloped with a lot of snow, a lot of wind. Saturday, sunny here. Sunday, sunny. Here's that next system that we mentioned may bring a few showers and storms Monday morning, and that's scheduled to arrive, I think, late Sunday night, early Monday, and then probably out of here by Monday afternoon. Here's how it looks in the 7-day forecast. 59 today, 56 tomorrow, 60s over the weekend, 68 on Monday with that chance of rain. Then we're back in the 70s Tuesday and Wednesday, but looks like we're going to get a strong front late Wednesday into Thursday next week, which will really knock temperatures down. So just a heads up there.
We'll prepare for that, but let's enjoy the weekend first.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Thanks, Justin.
Yeah.
Time right now, 9:22, about 47 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA at 9, new plans unveiled for a civic park at Hemisphere. We will lay out what changes are coming next. Welcome back. It's 9:25. There's a new park coming to San Antonio, and plans are finally underway for the redeveloped civic park being built on Hemisphere grounds.
It's a project that's been going on since 2012, with yesterday being a step closer to the groundbreaking of Phase 1. City leaders calling this a critical piece in the redevelopment process. Mayor Ron Nierberg saying the pandemic has caused many delays.
We have had so many different delays as it relates to the pandemic and closures, but we're finally here breaking ground on a very important project that brings San Antonio together, which will be the crown jewel of our park system.
Civic Park will have free public Wi-Fi to increase the community broadband access and expanded public restroom with a universal changing station for people with special needs. But for now, Phase 1 is expected to open at the end of next year.
It has been 7 years since TxDOT said they would give San Antonio control of a 2.2-mile stretch of Broadway. The state expected to cancel the transfer, catching city officials off guard. Some of the plans include reducing lanes, making bigger sidewalks. The state says the handoff of Broadway was contingent on a plan acceptance letter, which was never issued. In less than an hour, the Texas Transportation Commission is set to meet to discuss on whether those plans will stay in place.
And time now, 9:26. There's a lot more ahead on GMSA at 9.
Spurs lose to the Grizzlies. We have a recap of last night's game. David and RJ will talk about what happened coming up in our next half hour.
However, first, if you are planning to register for mail-in voting, you are running out of time. Erica Hernandez will have that deadline for you and a look at some new rules you need to know about.
9:30, welcome back. After a national controversy over mail ballots in the 2020 election, mail-in ballots, the Texas legislature made changes to the state's election laws.
Now, Senate Bill 1 is making the process to apply for a ballot by mail a bit confusing for some, as the Bexar County Elections Office has had to reject applications over errors.
Erica Hernandez joining us now to further explain those changes. Good morning. First off, just how many people have had their applications rejected here in Bexar County?
Well, as of last week, when we checked, when we did the story, there was over 300 of applications that had been rejected for small errors that shouldn't actually be happening, but it's because of those changes that they are happening, that people are kind of bypassing what they need to do when they send in those applications.
And can you go over some of those key changes that are causing people to make the errors?
Yeah, so there's several of those changes. The first change is that there is a new application for 2022. The old applications will not be accepted, so you have to get that new 2022 application. An application must be submitted in writing and signed in ink. Electronic signatures, photocopy signatures, signatures in pencil, not allowed. Election officials may not distribute mail-in ballots or an application for a mail-in ballot to anyone who did not submit a request. And this is the big error they're seeing, is early voting applications must include the driver's license number or your DPS PIN number. And if you don't have that, you have to put the last 4 digits of their social security number. And just so you're aware, when you see this on the application, there's a box at the top right corner, and that's where you put in those digits. That's one of the biggest errors they're seeing, is that number just not getting filled out.
Give us some upcoming key dates you need to know for the upcoming primary.
Yeah, so there's a lot of key dates I want to go over. The first one is January 31st, which is Monday. That's the last day to register to vote. Monday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, is the first day of early voting. Friday, February 18th is the last day to apply for ballot by mail, but it must be received, not postmarked by this state. February 25th is the last day of early voting, and then Tuesday, March 1st, of course, is election day. Now, make sure you visit the Vote 2022 page on our website. We have plenty of information for you to see there, including those key dates, more information on how to register to vote as that deadline is looming. We have a QR code that's up that you can scan and get that readily on your phone or your tablet or wherever you get that information at.
Thank you so much, Erica.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Erica. Let's go outside with live cam right now. 48 degrees. Feels a little colder than that. And there are the clouds, Justin.
Yeah, they're still kind of hanging around close by, but not in over San Antonio right now. We'll see them probably shift in a little bit later today. Temperatures have been on the chilly side this morning in the 40s. We got down in the 30s a little bit earlier. Let's look across the country, though. The really cold stuff still stay up north. It's negative 16 in Caribou. That's a cold spot this morning up there in the northern part of Maine. But most of the country is dealing with winter-like temperatures, I'd say. 28, Oklahoma City, 23 right now up there in Wichita, Kansas. And here across Texas, some freezing temperatures as you get out into West Texas, 30 in Midland, 24 in Amarillo. Still with a little bit of snow on the ground there from yesterday's storm system. A lot of cloud cover for basically the western half of the state, and it's trying to shift back east a little bit. So that's why we think skies will be mostly cloudy a little bit later today. If you didn't hear this earlier, this is the good news. Mountain Cedar's gone today. Didn't show up in today's pollen count, so we may really be seeing the end of the season here. Forecast takes us up to 59 this afternoon. Small chances of rain kick in this evening. Better chances tonight. We'll talk more about that here in just a few minutes, guys.
Thank you, Justin. A quick look at the roads with TransGuide. There looks to be construction on the side of I-35 at Watson Lane, but traffic is still moving in that direction.
So what's the deal with esports? Maybe you've heard of them. Maybe you still have some questions. If that sounds like you'll want to check out this week's episode of KSAT Explains.
KSAT Explains video editor Valerie Gomez and the host of the show, Myra Arthur, have a preview of the team's brand new episode.
Yes, we have a brand new episode of KSAT Explains out this week, and I will be learning right along with you. It's all about esports, but I admit I am the middleman for this episode because the reason we're talking about esports is this lady right here, Valerie Gomez, our wonderful video editor for the Explains team. You wanted to talk about this. So tell us why you think it's something worth explaining.
Okay, so I personally have been following esports for quite a while, since like 2013, and I was always paying attention to the national scene. I never really saw too much going on in San Antonio, so it was always just national, big tournaments outside of San Antonio. But then more recently, Port San Antonio started building the Techport Center and Arena a few years back, and that's where I started to kind of be more interested in what San Antonio was doing to build this esports scene.
The Techport Center, I think, will be an eye-opener for anybody that's that young, right? Because you have everything there for you. There's going to be gaming, there's going to esports, you're going to have the entire museum, robots.
This is a $70 million investment from Port San Antonio for our community. It is going to be a huge way for people like myself to learn about esports and the opportunities that it's going to provide our community. Obviously something that people like you who know about esports and are gamers are thrilled about. But part of this episode is looking at opportunities for kids because there was a whole industry wrapped up in esports and growing right now. So Val, you checked out what opportunities there are for students here locally.
Yeah, so we actually spoke to St. Mary's, their esports head coach, and a student at Incarnate Word. And I know that at St. Mary's, they're starting to offer scholarships now for their students, and they are considering their students as student athletes. So it's a more legitimate program, and I know that in terms of jobs, moving forward, a lot of them will go into like technology fields, and a lot of those students get scouted for jobs like that. So there are a lot of opportunities for college students for sure, and then high schools are also starting to do things with esports, so that sort of track starts younger, and they're able to kind of filter that into college and then into a career, and there's just so many opportunities opening up now for that.
So this isn't just video games like maybe a lot of people have viewed video games in the past as just something you do on a Saturday afternoon. This is an industry, this is an opportunity. So check out what Val and the rest of the team and myself, we all found out for this episode of KSAT Explains. It is out now for you to watch on demand anytime, ksat.com/explains.
9:37, about 48 degrees. You're watching GMSA at 9.
RJ and David are back with a recap of last night's game between the Spurs and the Grizzlies. Hi, welcome back. It's 9:40. We're going to talk about the Spurs, and they fought hard, but it wasn't enough to beat the Memphis Grizzlies at home.
Tough loss for the Silver and Black. David is back with RJ to discuss.
Another tough loss, David.
Yeah, well, here's the positive side. The Memphis Grizzlies are a pretty good basketball team.
Okay.
Outside of that.
Besides that, yeah, a lot of mistakes for the Spurs here, especially down the stretch. We've seen them be in these games. The one thing that I think sticks out is they are now 6-15, David, in these clutch games. That means games that are close with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and they just continue to make these mistakes late in games.
Justin and I were talking about this earlier. They get down 15, they'll come back and cut it to 8. Then they get down 10, cut it to 4. They get down 8, cut it to 6. They keep coming, but it's like they can't get over the hump. It's like there's something on the basket or something. They make a stupid mistake or something. They just can't seem to get a lead against these good teams and then hold on to it. And if they get the lead, they'll blow that eventually. It's really no, I'm serious. I'm just stating facts. I'm just watching games and stating facts. And that guy's an all-star because, he scored 41 last night. It's like, oh, man.
Yeah, that was really disappointing because, this was kind of billed as a DeJounte versus Ja Morant sort of matchup. 2 all-stars. Morant's definitely going to be an all-star this season, but DeJounte could not contain, and I guess the Spurs defense could not contain Morant. 41 points in that game there. And DeJounte did get the record or tied the record. He's not impressed.
That's great. It's great, but what does it get you?
That's true.
It gets you talking about how he tied the record.
Yeah,
Did it get you a win? No. Is it getting you into the playoffs?
No, it's not.
It's great. He's getting better. And hopefully at some point he'll get surrounded by some better players or something. Some guys will start. See, here's the difference between the teams that are, let me give you 2 things real quick. All right, so I'm going to read these off for you. The Spurs are 10th in scoring, 6th in rebounding, 5th in turnovers. Committing turnovers, 8th in blocks, 1st in assists, 12th in field goal percentage. They're in the top 12 in all these categories, and they're nowhere near a playoff spot. How does that happen?
That's frustrating. I think it's because they're close, but then they blow these games late in the fourth quarter. I think that's been a pretty common theme. David, interesting sound here. Interesting post-game comments from DeJounte Murray. He talked about this game and possibly, not getting some calls from the refs. Let's hear from DeJounte.
We're getting the stops. It's just we're not securing the basketball, so it made it tough for us. And they got a bunch of calls their way, and crucial moment. I watch a lot of film, so I know how much you could really touch players and how much you can't. So I feel like on a lot of plays, especially when I'm coming off and passing lanes or guarding somebody, I try to get my hand on the ball. So even when our coaches review it or anything, they see that I get my hand on the ball. So we had a bunch of crucial moments. And it just didn't go our way.
What do you think there, David? We watched.
I'm going with this just like we did with the Cowboys when they used to talk about the referees. Like, I never saw a referee throw an interception or fumble the ball. And the referees don't shoot free throws at 73%, which is the 29th percentage in the league. They're next to last in free throw shooting in the league. Referees aren't shooting free throws. And the referees aren't shooting threes, and the Spurs are pretty much at the bottom when it comes to 3-point attempts and 3-point makes. So, and the referees aren't trying to play with 4 players. They don't count as one of the players on the floor. So that was kind of a lackadaisical mistake last night. It's just
a lot of these things kind of build up to these losses. All right,
I get the referee thing, but
ahead here, who do we got next here? We have got DeMar DeRozan comes back into town.
Yeah, welcome
He's having
back.
himself a nice season for the Bulls.
Wow, you know what? And it's good to see him back. It's good to see. I think he was like one of the only players in the entire league to win 2 games in a row on the last second shot.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what kind of season he's having in Chicago.
Wow.
So good for him.
Yeah.
I mean, for what he did for the Spurs while he was here and all the stuff he had to put up with, and then being able to actually have a chance at some deep playoff.
I'm sure he'll get a nice little tribute video, kind of similar we saw from Patty and
did a great
Marcus
job
the
here.
other day. David, Ben Roethlisberger. This was some breaking news that we just got within the last hour. Ben Roethlisberger retiring after 18 seasons, all with one team, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's the amazing thing about it. He spent all his career with one team, won a couple of Super Bowls. If you're a big Pittsburgh fan, big Roethlisberger fan, go on his Twitter. He's got a video about 2 minutes long, just kind of announcing his retirement. He's sitting there with his family, great looking family, and he said, it's just time. And the last shot in that video is him taking his nameplate off his locker. I thought was, but it was a very classy retirement video from Ben Roethlisberger.
We knew it was coming, but it's official.
Yeah. It's official. End of an era there at Pittsburgh. He only had one losing season. I think it was all the way back in 2006. That was Bill Cowher's, maybe his last year. Besides that, Pittsburgh has not had a below 500 season since then. So Big Ben, congrats.
Yep.
End of an era there.
I was going to say, 18 seasons and only 2 coaches.
Yeah.
Think about that.
That's the other truly amazing part of that puzzle.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you very much.
You bet. Go Spurs, go.
Yes, go Spurs, go.
Where are they going? Never mind.
Let's go ahead and check in with Justin.
Hey there, guys.
Hi.
It was chilly this morning.
Yeah.
Temperatures fell down into the 30s here in San Antonio. Got down to 37. We didn't get a freeze here in Bexar County, but some places did. Bernie Stage did get down to 32. 32 in Kerrville. So light freeze. There was enough of clearing where we saw those temperatures drop a little more than expected because the clouds cleared out for a little bit. But where the clouds were last night, temperatures stayed up in the 40s and 50s. Clouds are kind of sitting right on the edge of San Antonio right now. Temperatures 47 at the airport, 51 Stinson, 48 Kelly, 46 at Randolph. And as we look at the satellite picture, a little area of clouds trying to work through town right now. That'll lift north towards the airport. But some broken clouds up around Kerrville, some off and on cloud cover just to the west of San Antonio. But the further west you go, the thicker the clouds get. And this in general works east, so I think things cloud up a little bit as we get into the afternoon here around town. Temperatures will still make it into the mid to upper 50s though. 41 Kerrville, 49 right out in Hondo, 50 in Carrizo Springs, 52 with some sun in Gonzales. Here's how we think temperatures play out: 55 degrees by midday, and then by the afternoon, close to 60. I think there will be some 60s on the map. Certainly 50s, though, in the hill country, 56 Kerrville, 54 in Rock Springs. Mostly cloudy across the area. Dew points start to come up a little bit. Okay, we get some moisture out ahead of our next storm system, just enough to get some drizzle and showers going tonight. Then a front moves through and we get drier air back in place by tomorrow. Here's how it looks on the forecast map. This is 6 o'clock, starting to see a few very light showers down to the south of San Antonio. This lifts north as that moisture pushes north, and it becomes a little more widespread around midnight. This would be a good thing if we could get some decent rain out of it, but all of it looks so light that we're probably not going to pick up much. By tomorrow morning, yes, the morning commute could be a little bit damp, but that front moves through, dries things out pretty quickly, and by midday, clouds are pushing south. Sun is back out tomorrow afternoon, and we'll have some breezy conditions. Here's the big picture across the country. Some snow flying from St. Louis up towards near Detroit this morning, Cleveland. That is part of a bigger storm system that is going to swing east and then up the East Coast, and this is going to be a major issue for the Northeast this weekend. Snow totals in New York City, probably 2 to 7 inches, but places like Boston, we'll see quite a bit more. Some very gusty winds, a classic nor'easter here. So that moves away by Sunday. Then we start to watch for our next storm system here, which moves in early on Monday. Another quick hitter, but I do think we'll have a chance for some showers and maybe a couple thunderstorms early on Monday before it clears out Monday afternoon. So the 7-day forecast looks like this: 59 today, 56 tomorrow. We do get down close to freezing Saturday morning, 31, but up to 63 Saturday afternoon, 68 on Sunday. Can't say it enough. The weekend looks amazing. Chance of rain Monday morning, 30% chance. We're in the 70s Tuesday and Wednesday. And then beyond that, it does look like we're going to get a pretty strong cold front with some cold air by the end of next week.
Next week.
All right.
Yep.
We'll prepare. Thanks, Justin.
Yep.
Well, now to those secret fast food hacks. McDonald's and other major chains are creating secret menus, supposedly secret menus, with delicious combinations of their most popular items.
ABC's Kenneth Moten did some serious investigative journalism to see what it's all about.
ordering things you didn't know you could order.
This morning, your favorite fast food menu combos are getting the stamp of approval.
Can I please get a 6-piece chicken nuggets with barbecue sauce? What else? A double cheeseburger.
These food hacks, inspired by customers who hacked fast food menus to create what they call delicious and unexpected combinations. Their popularity soaring so high at McDonald's, they will now have a spot on the regular menu starting Monday.
Bag is heavy.
We decided to check out some of these combinations ourselves. First up, a crunchy double, made with chicken McNuggets and a double cheeseburger.
Crunchy.
And the surf and turf. That's a fillet of fish and a double cheeseburger combo. But the wildest menu hack of all, land, air, and sea.
You know, we got the land, the burger, the air, the McChicken, and then the sea, of course, the fillet of fish.
Wendy's, Jack in the Box, and more have their own menu hacks too. At Jack in the Box, a favorite hack, the Jumbo Jack Burger, plus their taco, jalapeno popper topped with taco sauce. At Wendy's, there's the Barnyard Burger, a beef patty, a spicy chicken patty, bacon, ham and cheese. Chipotle offering the quesarito, which is exactly what it sounds like, a burrito wrapped in a quesadilla. And at Chick-Fil-A, Southern loaded waffle fries with nuggets and large fries topped with bacon, pimento cheese sauce, and drizzled with a creamy cilantro lime sauce.
It just seems that this is a trend with a lot of fast food restaurants. People like to mix it up and mix and match things and just try new things.
So what does it take for a combo to become a well-known menu hack?
The accessibility of it. Like if I can buy 2 99-cent things and put them together and this is going to be spectacular, then okay, then I'm going to try it.
Land, air, and sea.
Burger. So a couple things from Kenneth Moat in the story. One, as you can see from McDonald's, it's build your own.
Right.
They give you the ingredients.
They give you the pizzas.
And then we had a whole bunch of people just kind of go, huh? Like Scooby-Doo, about the Chick-fil-A thing. So what he said was Southern loaded waffle fries with nuggets, large fries topped with bacon, pimento cheese sauce, and drizzled with a creamy cilantro lime sauce. All right, so the creamy cilantro lime sauce, that's like a dressing
for their
like their wraps and their salads.
Yeah, you can request that.
All right, so
I don't know about the pimento
I don't either.
sauce.
I don't know.
Or the bacon. I guess you could request that off the side because they have those for their salads as well.
We'll have to do our own investigative journalism.
I know, we're thinking very hard about this.
We are.
Can we ask for it on the app?
I don't know. We'll have to do some research for sure. But the other ones for sure, Mickey D's, we know that's a real deal for sure.
Very interesting.
It's only like 4,000 calories, but knock yourself out.
Right. I think you're right about that. Oh, goodness.
9:52, about 49 degrees.
We'll be right back. And tomorrow on GMSA, we're live from the annual Cowboy Breakfast. We're going to show you who they're honoring this year.
And one last look at the roadways. Looks like things are slowly improving there, 35 at Watson Lane East, but the roads are still pretty busy. A few crashes there off I-10 at Wurzbach, so watch out there, guys.
And we'll now check the forecast. We'll be up around 59 degrees today. Some showers tonight, a little damp for tomorrow morning's commute, but a beautiful weekend.
All right, it's my Friday. See you on Monday.
You guys have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.